Hello there. This is my response to Victor's nomination in relation to the 3 questions about how I became a wargamer, where I see my YouTube channel and what advice I have for potential YouTube channel people. Where did I start wargaming? Well, this is going to be fairly brief really, because I think most people have already given the same sort of answers. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, I started buying the plastic Airfix kits, and I made them up, constructed them as I saw fit, which usually involved leaving out the complicated parts like the landing gear and so on, and just keeping the essential bits such as the propellers and the guns. I needed something to go with those, and so I decided that the Airfix plastic figures were the best way to go. Didn't have any set rules. I just used the aircraft to basically drop marbles onto the figures by way of bombs, and then I would roll marbles from one side to the other and knock down their figures, and basically the army, which ended up with one figure standing at the end of it all, was the one that had won. All fairly straightforward really. I remember using my brother's Lego bricks to build fortifications, which enabled me to protect some of my soldiers from the assaults of the marbles, but that's really about where it was. I then basically expanded my range of figures, as you always do. I started off, I think, with the Africa Corps, and then I think I went to the British Infantry Combat Group, as it was called in those days, and then I moved on with various other different types. I wasn't too fussed about who fought who really. I just let them all get on with it. I remember that the First World War set was very impressive, because we used, I recall, the French and the British on one side, and the Germans on the other. But that was quite impressive. These games carried on, I would say, until I was about, I'd say 12, something like that. And I was at school, and one of my friends mentioned to me that he'd got a book out of the local library, which had some rules in it which showed how you could fight games of model soldiers, and I thought that was fascinating. It turned out that the book in question was Donald Featherstone's book, War Games, which I think published in 1962. I remember that I was less than 16 years old, because at that time, for some reason, Featherstone's book was in the adult section of the library. So I had to get my mum to get it on loan, and she kept basically extending the loan, and I went through it with a fine-tooth comb. I think I must have copied out the rules umpteen times, and made little changes and so on, and until I got to the stage where I could actually take the book out myself. And of course by that time Mr. Featherstone had produced a number of other different books in relation to wargaming, and I was a very avid follower of his, and read, I think, probably most of all of his books actually. And then, of course, having got friends at school who were knowledgeable on the question of wargaming and fighting games, we actually started doing some decent games, following Featherstone's rules. It was all fairly free and easy, as it was in those days. I mean, I can remember that it wasn't unusual, for example, for a Tiger tank to go chasing after a Bren carrier. The idea being that you had to destroy absolutely everything of the enemies, otherwise you hadn't won the game. But that's where it started. Featherstone is, I think, my mentor as far as wargaming is concerned. I know that Charles Grant, and there were many others who were putting out information and books and so forth, but for me, Featherstone is the man, and he's credited with getting me into the hobby, which I'm still pursuing over 50 years later. So that's really how I got into it. The next question in relation to the YouTube channel, not really a great deal to say about that. I've got no pretensions with this channel. I just started it because I thought it might be nice to show people what I was getting up to, and also I'd noticed what other people were up to by following them on YouTube. And I thought it'd be nice to be joining, to basically join the community, and that's what I've done. I am not a regular contributor. I don't spend a lot of the time with videos, but I do occasionally. I'm not really a social media person, to be honest. I just like to get on and plough my own furrow, but it is nice to be part of the community, and there are some very, very interesting people and some very skillful people out there who can teach a great deal. So as far as my channel's concerned, well, if it carries on as it is, that's fine by me. I'm not bothered about the number of subscribers I get. I just publish things, or rather send out videos on the basis they may be of interest to people. If they are, fine. If they're not, well, okay, that's all right. Watch something else. So far as the advice to a beginner is concerned, I would say do what you want to do. Just put on what you think would look okay and that you feel that you want to show to people. You must unfortunately be prepared to accept criticism. Most people are very pleasant and most people are very positive. I've had cause to admonish a couple of people who I think have picked on videos that people have put up, criticising their painting and so forth, but not constructively criticising them, just having a go at them, and I don't agree with that at all. But if you're starting out and you want to progress on the YouTube scene, as it were, that sounds a bit pretentious, doesn't it? But anyway, if you want to put your YouTube videos out, just do so. Get your camera, get your phone, whatever it is, video the stuff that you like and send it out. And I think you'd be surprised at how supportive and how pleasant and helpful people are. And that may encourage you to do more. I suppose the other side of the benefits of the YouTube is that you're inspired to get things done. I'm a notoriously slow painter. I get stuff done when it gets done, basically. It's not a race, as someone commented quite a while back. So I pretty much plough my own furrow. And I think starting with YouTube, you should just do the same. Just do what suits you, and do it as and when you want to. And I think you'd be very encouraged by the results. Okay, I think I've gone on long enough. That's really all I've got to say on the subject. I'd like to thank Victor for nominating me. It's very kind of him. As far as nominating others are concerned, I'm afraid I'm a bit late to this game, so I suspect most of the people I would have nominated have already been nominated. Two people I don't think have been nominated are Kent Galpin from New Zealand, who paints for a living, I understand, and who's very, very good and very pleasant and does some very, very interesting videos. And another person I would nominate is Chris Packer, who appears to have a phenomenal collection of figures, all beautifully painted. So I'd be interested to see how you two guys got into wargaming, and what your views are on where you want to be in 5 years, and advice for up-and-coming Steven Spielbergs. Anyway, that's really it. I think I've gone on long enough, and providing I can find out where the button is on this camera, I'll switch it off and see you again next time. Cheers for now.